Hi guys, this is Terry, and this is my answers to the questions. So the question was, for each of the readings posted, please provide the most beneficial information related to organizational communication within each one of the articles and why you find it the most beneficial. For the difficult people article, I thought that the biggest, most beneficial information that I got from the article was the fact that the best way to deal with difficult people is to be self aware and to reflect about how you are handling the person and the situation. Asking those have I questions can be so helpful and can most definitely benefit an organization in the long term because it doesn't put pressure on the people. In reality, it puts pressure on you to figure out the situation. And so I think that can benefit an organization overall if people are more self-aware and don't try and blame other people and point fingers. For the 7 habits article, I thought that the most beneficial information was the fact that it's good to remember uh, what you are trying to achieve was one of those tips. But for me, it wasn't for the reason that they stated it. Uh, I tend to, when it comes to office politics, that's what the article was mainly about. And, well, that it touched on office politics. But I tend to leave when things get crazy. It talked about fight or flight, and I'm more of a fleer. And so the tip was a good reminder for me to remember what my goals are in the organization and what it is that I'm trying to achieve, whether or not it's the office politics are bad enough for me to leave. Like trying to figure that out. I don't like playing games when it comes to work, so I would rather not play the office politics. Um, but the tip really showed me that there could be some benefit in playing the office politics if I stick it out instead of leaving. So I guess overall that could benefit the organization because I stayed there and didn't quit. I don't really know, but that's kind of what I took from that article. Now, the office politics article was really interesting, and it talked about a game that they played, and I really wish we could have played the game because it seems really fun. Um, and I also think that the most beneficial thing was recognizing that every office and organization has an office politics, has they just do. Like I was like, oh no, not the place that I work, and then I realized no, there's office politics there, and so I really need to ready myself and be able to play them. When it comes to office politics, I'm usually Switzerland. I'm kind of the neutral person. Um, and I was like, yeah, I don't really play, but then I'm like, that's kind of a form of office politics. So I just have to figure out what character I want to be and stick to it. Um, and I think it's important to know what the office politics are for each organization that you're in or for the organization that you're a part of, so that you know how to play, so that you know when to push and when to stand back, and just so that you know what's going on, period, within the organization. The motivational article, I liked that there was no opposite for satisfaction or dissatisfaction. That just because you change something doesn't automatically equal success. And according to our reading, we have to get rid of the things that dissatisfy us before we can work on building up the things that satisfy us within the workplace. Having this information will, I said, help me and wherever I go in the future. But I feel like knowing what satisfies you, what dissatisfies you within the organization will help organizations in general. Like whatever organization you're in, it will be helpful because it'll make for a better work environment, which creates longevity, which creates, those offices where people don't leave, they stay there and they're happy to do it. The crisis management article, uh, the part that I found most beneficial was preparing for a crisis, more specifically one that you are going to cause like layoffs. If there, uh, if there is already things in writing and semi-practice, then when events occur, they will already there will already be a guide that you can just look to see what happens next. I think it's important in dealing with the organization, because if the crisis communication team is the only one that knows what the plan is when it's time to uh, when it's time to put into action, people are going to be lost, especially if it's like, for example, like an active shooter, situation. People need to do that real time and practice it in real time, not just keep it on the paper. So I think that's really important, to actually practice the drills, practice the planning, practice what happens if a crisis occurs, whether that's, you know, evacuating the building or whatever the case may be. I think putting that practice into use is very beneficial for organizations, so that people know what's going on, people know who they're supposed to go talk to, and all that stuff. And the last article was the effective communication article. The tip that seemed most beneficial to me also seems kind of the easiest, and um it's funny. It's a practice in real time. I guess it kind of went along with the crisis management one, but yeah, it was just a practice in real time, for that the reason that people will know what to do when the going gets tough, when stuff really hits the fan. They'll know what to do. They'll know, who's the spokesperson. They'll know not to say anything, if they're not supposed to. They'll just be trained in how they're supposed to carry themselves. So those are my answers. Thanks so much. Bye.